For the next 100 days, I'm going to be stranded on this island. One day in Minecraft is over 20 minutes in real life. That means this is going to take me over 33 hours. But don't worry, I've cut it down into just a few minutes for you guys. So make sure you guys stick around for this absolutely crazy adventure. Also, if you made it this far into the video, make sure you guys go down there and subscribe. I'll appreciate it greatly, and it'll help me make more awesome content like this. On day one, I went around meeting all the villagers and made sure they were okay with me taking over their island. Next thing I had to do was take all of their loot, and I managed to find 3 diamonds in this first chest. I think we're off to a pretty good start. After going around and looting all the chests, I set up a temporary base and forged some tools. I also managed to find this little blacksmith right beside the shoreline and snag some armor. Also neighboring the shore, there was a shipwreck, which I looted 3 of the chests in and got some pretty good food and valuables. I was able to craft full iron armor and iron tools using all of the stuff we found in this first few minutes. This is definitely the best start I've ever had to a Minecraft game. All prepared, I jumped into the water and made my way into the caves for some mining. I spent the remainder of day 1 and day 2 in the mines getting materials. Oh, look what we found here, a lush cave. I'm definitely going to be using this for later if we ever need moss or flowering azalea or something like that. Also, while I'm down here in the caves, I'm going to go grab some obsidian from the lava pools down here. Alright, we're coming back home with all the good supplies. It's already nearing the end of day 2. And I think that's the first good few days spent mining and gathering stuff. The morning of day 3, I could see all the animals were a little confused roaming around. So I brought them all to the center of the village to keep them captive. And luckily there were cows here when I arrived, so I just decided to move them closer just so they could feel comfortable with the other animals. One annoying thing about living on the island is dirt and sand is hard to access. So if you see weird chunks missing from underneath the island, that is because that is where I have to collect my dirt and sand from. After collecting some dirt and using the deep slate that I'd found mining before, I made a little farm beside the center of the village. Okay, and just like that, the farm is done. We got our carrots planted, and I think it's time to go on a little adventure. Using the obsidian I got earlier, I made another pearl, and that's where I spent the end of day 3 and most of day 4. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. Oh, this is cheating and leaving the island. It kind of is, but I don't really care because I didn't end up using anything I really got. I tried to get some wither skulls, but it didn't work out the first time. Maybe the second time it'll work out. I put all of our stuff back away at the base. From the end of day 4 to the beginning of day 6, I collected some materials and built an iron farm. And this farm doesn't require many blocks, just a bunch of dirt, which I placed in like a square here, and then I turned them into path blocks so no other mobs can spawn on them. And then it requires like a few barrels and beds. And once it's built, I have to put some villagers in here and 1 zombie. Okay, this is our last villager. Now let's go get a zombie. There we go. Now, while I continue playing for the rest of the 100 days, I'm going to let the iron farm run in the background, and you'll see what kind of outputs it produces here and there. But let's get working on the next thing. Okay, so I want to build a village house just like the one here. You guys can get a little sneak peek. So let's go collect some materials and let's build this bad boy. I think an easy way to get building blocks is to use wool, so I'm going to make a string duper over here. Okay, now let's see if it works. Let's shear this string here, flick this lever, and there we go. So now if I leave this in the background, we'll have string collecting there and I can turn it into wool. I'm going to have to constantly grab deep slate from down below. So I'm going to make this water elevator that we can use to go up and down from deep slate to the top of our base. Also, while I was mining some deep slate, look at what I came across. We got a trial chamber. Days 10, 11, and 12, I spent all day in the trial chamber fighting mobs, grabbing loot. And here's half of the loot I found. I stored all of the loot in some chests at the bottom of the trial chamber, and then I transported it all back up to my base. Days 13 to 17, I continued collecting the materials for the build. And on day 17, I trapped these villagers in their houses so I could use them for trading later. I also cleaned up the paths around the village to make everything look pretty. I cleaned up the docks as well, and some of the plants that were just randomly floating for some reason. With all the materials collected, I moved them to the build site, and days 18 to 20 were spent building my starter house. Okay, and just like that, the house is finished. We got a nice little kitchen here with some furnaces. We got a pantry, a spot for storage, Up the stairs here, we got a nice desk to the side. There's some doors that outlook the village. We got some big windows for viewing areas. In here, we got a nice bunk bed storage in case we got company. And up here, there's a bell in case I have to warn the village of anything. Okay, next, I think we should get building a watermill. So I have the blueprint here. I'm going to place it over here. In order to place it, though, I'm going to have to destroy this village. So let's do that. I spent days 20 to 22 collecting the materials for the watermill. Now let's build this thing. Alright, so day 24 is when I finished the watermill. And I was looking around the base and it looked a little messy, so I decided to clean some things up. I destroyed the path blocks here to kind of make them straighter. And destroyed some of these odd like floating planks. I guess it's supposed to be like a dock, but I'm going to get rid of those and make the path nice and straight. From day 24 to 26, I collected all the materials and I started building a windmill. Alright, we got the last few blocks here. Let's place them in, make that a path, and there we go. The windmill is complete. Look at that bad boy. Alright, so from days 27 to 29, I collected materials to build a blacksmith. And you'll see here, I got all the stuff in my inventory. Now let's build this blacksmith. Alright, so day 30 and we finished the blacksmith. I want to make something over here eventually, so we're going to have to destroy this pumpkin farm. On day 31, I made a little staircase down to the trial chamber to get some blocks and to make it easier to access. I also checked on the iron and we got lots, so I'm going to have to use this iron up doing something which you'll see later. On day 32, I made room for another build by destroying this village and I made the base of the build. You can see that this build is going to be pretty big, so stay tuned for that in the later days. Alright, it's all placed. Look at it. So you can see here we're going to put a bone meal farm up there, but we'll have to collect the materials later. On day 33, I noticed some of the villagers went missing and they were in the Nether, so I collected them and it took me a few days, but I brought them back and saved them for trading. I wanted enchants for pickaxes, so I kept destroying the lectern until I got Silk Touch Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3. And the reason I wanted these, because if I can get a beacon, then we'll be able to instant mine. So I went to the Nether and tried to get wither skulls, and my luck was absolutely crazy. I don't know how many exactly I killed, but I got the 3 skulls really quickly. I also had a little mishap here with the blaze, but don't worry, we got our stuff back. You'll see here, there was maybe 4 skeletons here, and I got the 2 wither skulls that I needed. Let me know in the comments how lucky this is. I think we did pretty good though. So on day 35, I got the stuff to kill a wither, and I went up to the bedrock ceiling to trap him. This is so I didn't have to actually fight him one-on-one. Instead, he would be stuck and I could just kill him here. So you'll see here I use this little kind of one block hole and kill him in it. And there's the wither star. I'm gonna head back to the base and make a beacon. Now that we have a beacon and all that iron from before, we have the ability to instant mine. So on day 36, I went down below my base and placed the beacon in. And you'll see here, there's the beacon. So if I go down and put an iron ingot in it, we can get haste 2 now. From day 36 to 39, I was collecting material for the bone meal farm. I also combined those enchants so we could instant mine. While I was collecting materials, I found a mine shaft that had a bunch of diamonds and other things, so I collected those. You'll see here, I think I got like 15 diamonds or something. But anyways, on day 40, we had all the materials, so let's build the bone meal farm. Whew, that took almost 2 days to build. Let's try it out though. Nice. You'll see the bone meal turns the stone into moss, and then the pistons break it. It goes down here and refills the machine. When there's enough, these double chests get full. Let's run the farm for a bit, and let's check on the results later. Alright, so it's day 42. I want to get stuff for a sugarcane farm, so I'll get working on that. But it's been almost a day. It's day 43. Let's check on the bone meal. Alright, 44 in there, stack and a half, and almost 2 stacks. Not bad. Alright, so at the end of day 43, I had all materials for the sugarcane farm and got building. Okay, let's place in these last few sugarcane. Day 45, and we finished the sugarcane farm. From days 45 to 47, I collected materials for the actual build around the sugarcane farm. I had to repair my pickaxe a couple times, but here's all the materials, so let's get building the big barn I'm going to put around the sugarcane farm. Okay, so that took me a couple days to build. I'm thinking our next build will be an entrance for that staircase down to the trial chamber. So from days 50 to 52, I collected the materials, getting the copper from the trial chamber. On day 52, I built the mine entrance. By the end of day 53, I'd finished the mine entrance and it was looking nice. I needed some bamboo for a build I was going to make next, but we didn't have any, so I was left with no option but to quickly boat to a neighboring island, grab some bamboo. I also grabbed some jungle saplings and cocoa beans in case we needed them. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad at me. I left the island for maybe a couple minutes. I returned though, planted the bamboo to make sure it grew so I'd have lots of it. I needed the bamboo for scaffolding, and from day 54 to 62, I know that's a lot of days, I collected a bunch of materials for our next build, which is our biggest build by far. Look at all this stuff. So let's get building this thing. That was an awesome montage. That took me almost 6 days to build, but if you're wondering what's inside, you'll see we got a TNT duper here, and it's a tree farm. So now I don't have to bone meal and destroy my wood outside. I can just use this and it'll automatically destroy. Look at this thing. I went for a little bit of a different style than the rest of the village, but this lookout tower will keep our villagers safe and it looks pretty cool. I also checked on our sugarcane farm. It was producing quite a lot of sugarcane, which was good. I can use that to make paper to trade with villagers. I also grabbed some more bone meal from our bone meal farm and put it into our tree farm. You can see why I built these farms now. On day 70, I sorted our chests because they were looking a little messy. From day 70 to 77, I collected materials for our next build. I had to go to another neighboring island to get dark oak, but I made it quick. You can see here we got all of our materials. Now let's build the bone meal house to cover our bone meal farm. Awesome. 3 days later and it's built. We got these nice little rooms in here, as you can see. And we can go up the stairs over in that little pillar to access the bone meal farm up top. I have lots of materials at our base, so I didn't have to collect any materials for our next build. I could just grab them from the chest. And our next build is a wood mill. With the wood mill complete, I'm going to collect a few more materials. So from day 81 to 82, I collected materials for a church that I'm going to build. Okay, so that took us 1 day to build. You can see the interior of the church here. Next up, I'm going to collect a few more materials to make another small build, and I'm going to make a little watchtower for the community. Day 85 and the watchtower is complete. Next thing on our list is yet another small build like this, just to fill the empty spaces in the village. So on day 86, I collected a few more materials laying around the base and made another watchtower for the village. Okay, watchtower complete. Now, I think we need some houses for our villagers, so I'm going to make a few houses, starting with this one on day 87, with just a couple materials that I found throughout the base. Okay, village house number 1 is complete. Now from day 88 to 90, I collected some materials to build the second village house, and I got working on that. Just after I took out this creeper though, he nearly got me. Okay, village house number 2 complete. Now let's work on the final third house. So from day 91 to 92, I collected some more materials following the same kind of blocks as the first houses and made the third house. And village house number 3 is done on day 92. For the rest of day 92, I grabbed the materials to make a silk touch shovel, and I headed off to a nearby island to grab some grass blocks. My plan was to connect everything together with grass to make it one big island. After collecting lots of grass and also some dirt from below my island, I connected everything together. That first bit of grass took us up to day 94, but I ran out. So from day 94 to 95, I quickly went back to the island and grabbed some more grass. Alright, so we made it back on day 96. Let's finish connecting everything. Awesome. So we're on day 98. I connected everything by using path blocks to make it kind of flow better. I think all we have left to do is add some foliage. So I'm going to grab some saplings and some bone meal. And let's throw some trees in here. All right, the last tree. And there we go. I added quite a lot of trees, more than I expected. But I think now what I'm going to do is just bone meal the grass so we have some nice tall grass and flowers. I finished placing all of the grass and flowers at the end of day 98 and grabbed some food before I went to bed. Waking up on day 99, I went around the base and lit everything up using these cobble deep slate walls and torches. After finishing decorating on day 99, all that was left to do was wake up on day 100 and admire everything that we had built so far. I'm going to throw together a little cinematic montage so you guys can see everything that we built. And that wraps up the 100 days on this survival island. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys go down there and hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you want to see another 100 days on this island, or if you want to see a different 100 days series. Just let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, guys. See you later.